Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of the Top Uni 100 Camp. And I'm back with another admissions video lesson for you guys. And today I want to run through one of the most important supplemental essays you are going to write in your college application. Now, in our previous videos, we have covered personal statement, recommendation letters, and many other things, okay? And this will be the first supplemental essays we're going to be covering. Now, before I start covering this supplemental essay, I just want to kind of give you guys what the supplemental essays are for. Why do you need to write them? Now, I tell students to basically first learn how the admissions process works before they understand the purpose of a lot of supplemental essays. First of all, how does a person get accepted, rejected, or deferred from an application standpoint? Let's say you apply to Stanford. Now, I do want to let you know that it differs from university to university, but let's talk about Stanford, okay? So how does somebody get accepted? First, you have somebody reading your application, either one or two people usually reading your application. And when they read your application, they can either recommend you for admit or just reject it. So if that first person doesn't like your application, you're out. That's it. You're just out of it. You're going to get a rejection letter. But what if that person really likes your application? They start giving your application ratings, and then they say, well, I want to recommend this student for admit. And then they recommend you for admit. But it doesn't just end there. You just don't get accepted. The second step after that is that person takes your application to the committee. And committee usually consists of 4 people, 4 admissions officer. And the person who recommended you for admit usually has to fight for you. They have to make a case for you. So let's say we have an applicant. Let's name him Asadbek Oltinov. Let's say that he is a political science major who wants to change a lot of things about the government systems, and he reads a lot of philosophical and political science books, right? So as somebody who is recommending for admit, I would start talking about, this is an applicant from Uzbekistan, from Samarkand. He went to a public school. He has this SAT. He has IELTS score of this. So I basically start presenting them. If after my presentation, we all vote on whether you get accepted or you get rejected. If 2 people say yes and 2 people say no, then you're deferred or waitlisted. Usually, if you get 1 yes and 3 no, 1 yes is usually the person who is recommending you for admit, so you just get rejected again and you get lost in committee. But if you get 3 yes or 4 yes, it usually means acceptance. Now, why am I telling you this? I want you to think of it this way. A lot of students, when they're writing their supplemental essays, they try to write about the same things they have been writing about in their personal statement or in other parts of their application. Each supplemental essay should give a new reason or new thing for an admissions officer to talk about. Let's say you love photography. Let's say you just love the outdoors. Let's say you love playing music. Each supplemental essay, each part of your application should give your admissions officer something to fight for you, something that they have not heard in other places in your application. So supplementals are basically differentiating you from all other students. It's giving admissions officers reasons to accept you, reasons to show your full character and basically who you are as a person. Now, today I want to talk about the why us essay, okay? In our next 2-3 videos, we will be talking about other supplemental essays, but today I want to talk about the why us essay. First of all, why do these universities have this? If Harvard says, let's say, why Harvard? You go, well, because it's Harvard. That's a lot of our answers, right? Or why Yale? Well, because it's Yale, because it's prestigious. That's why we're applying, right? Well, you can't say that. I use this example a lot, and I've heard this actually from one of the people who have graduated from MIT. He says, imagine you have a best friend, and you ask your friend, hey, why are you friends with me? And he looks at you and he says, because you've got a lot of money or because you're rich. That's what you're doing to these universities. You're telling them, I want to attend your university because you're so prestigious. You do not want to say that, okay? Now, I want you guys to go back to one of our first lessons. Who does the admissions officers work for? They work for professors, right? This is something that I've mentioned before. So in your Why Us essays, you have to try your best to be intellectual and not play around too much or tell the university how prestigious they are. This is how I recommend you guys approach it. the first half of the essay, or the majority of the essay, should not say why you want to study at that university, but what you want to study. These universities know, if you're applying to Harvard, that you're probably applying to Yale, Brown, Dartmouth, and other top universities. They know that you're not only applying to them. They're not making the supplemental essay so you can glaze them and tell them how great they are. No, they're simply saying, what are some of your academic interests? And how can you explore them at our university, right? So for example, let's say I love political science. I can talk about how I love reading John Locke. I love when John Locke talks about natural law and that we are all equal under nature. And if somebody steals from us, we have the ability to kill them maybe. Once you enter a social contract within a society, then now you have to abide by the laws of a society, and that the society and the government has to make those for you. Like, let's say I just have this very deep interest, right? I can talk about maybe how I would love to study this subject. I would love to study political science or philosophy. And then I would want to find a professor or courses they offer maybe that aligns with exactly what I want to study. So it's not about finding courses in these universities and then aligning your interests with them. It's giving all of your interests on why you want to basically pursue a certain subject at a university, and then giving one or two things that that university can offer for you. You can do the same thing with your social sides. Let's say that in high school, for example, I was a big activist on immigration, helping support students who didn't speak English. At university, I can say, hey, I love helping my immigrant community. I have been doing this for a very long time. If I'm talking about how I love helping the immigrant community, then I can just say, well, you happen to have this program at your university that volunteers and helps these immigrants. And this is something I want to do also. So I tell this a lot of students, make sure that your application and this why essay is authentic. It's not glazing the university or finding something very unique they have that no other university has. Sure, do your research, see how this university aligns with your interests. But the important thing, how it aligns with your interests. Do not align your interests based on what the university has to offer, okay? So, if you have 100 words, spend 75 of those words talking about why you want to study the subject you want to study, how you're passionate about it, and what that university has to offer for you in regard of what you want to study. And that's how you write the Why Us essay. We will be talking about in the future how you can write the other supplemental essays. And one thing I want everybody to keep in mind is, what am I giving to the admissions officer to talk about in my admissions committee hearing? Thank you, everybody. Make sure you follow, you subscribe, and turn those notifications on. Have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.